The world is witnessing a seismic shift in global energy trade. This shift is happening quietly, almost invisibly, on the tracks of a newly inaugurated train route. This route carries Iranian oil across Central Asia to China, marking a significant departure from the traditional maritime routes that have dominated global oil transport for decades. This new train route is not just an engineering feat, it's a geopolitical game-changer. It allows Iran, a country long under Western sanctions, to bypass the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point for global oil flow. This bypass significantly weakens the West's ability to control the flow of Iranian oil. The train route also highlights the growing relationship between Iran and China. These two nations are finding common ground in their desire to challenge the existing global order. This partnership is reshaping the geopolitics of energy, trade, and power. The world is watching closely as this new route throws into question the future of global energy trade. It signals a potential shift in power dynamics and raises important questions about the effectiveness of existing sanctions regimes. The train carrying Iranian oil to China is not just a mode of transport, it's a harbinger of a new era in global affairs. To understand the significance of this new train route, we must first understand the old order it challenges. For decades, the United States has been the dominant force in global energy markets. This dominance was built on two pillars: control over maritime trade routes and the petrodollar system. After World War II, the U.S. Navy emerged as the world's most powerful maritime force. This gave the U.S. effective control over key sea lanes, including those crucial for oil transport. This control gave the U.S. significant leverage in global affairs. The second pillar, the petrodollar system, further cemented U.S. dominance. This system, established in the 1970s, mandates that oil transactions be conducted in U.S. dollars. This system created a constant demand for U.S. currency, bolstering the American economy and strengthening the dollar's position as the world's reserve currency. This system, however, is now being challenged. The Iranian oil train route is a direct challenge to the US-dominated maritime order. It demonstrates that alternative routes are emerging, potentially diminishing US influence over global energy flows. The train route also raises questions about the long-term viability of the petrodollar system. As more countries seek alternatives to the US dollar for oil transactions, the system's foundations could weaken, potentially impacting the US economy and its global standing. The Iranian oil train route has significant implications for U.S. sanctions. These sanctions, imposed over Iran's nuclear program and other geopolitical disagreements, have severely restricted Iran's ability to export oil. The traditional maritime routes, easily monitored by the U.S. Navy, made it difficult for Iran to circumvent these sanctions. However, the new train route provides a lifeline. It allows Iran to transport its oil to a willing buyer, China, without relying on sea routes. This development exposes a crucial limitation of U.S. sanctions in a multipolar world. When a powerful country like China is determined to engage in trade with a sanctioned nation, it becomes increasingly difficult for the U.S. to enforce its sanctions regime effectively. This has broader implications for the future of global governance. As more countries seek to challenge the US-led world order, the effectiveness of unilateral sanctions could diminish. The Iranian oil train route serves as a stark reminder that in an interconnected world, economic ties can often circumvent political barriers. At the heart of this new trade route lies a burgeoning partnership between Iran and China. This partnership, underpinned by a shared desire to challenge US hegemony, finds its most potent expression in the energy sector. In 2021, Iran and China signed a 25-year, $400 billion strategic cooperation agreement. This agreement encompasses various sectors, but energy is a central pillar. China, the world's largest energy consumer, is eager to secure reliable and affordable energy supplies. Iran, with its vast oil and gas reserves, presents an attractive partner. This partnership is mutually beneficial. It provides Iran with a much-needed economic lifeline, allowing it to circumvent US sanctions and access the Chinese market. For China, it ensures energy security and reduces its reliance on traditional energy suppliers, many of whom are US allies. This partnership extends beyond mere economic expediency. It's a strategic alliance between two countries seeking to reshape the global order. The Iranian oil train route is a tangible manifestation of this partnership, symbolizing their shared vision of a multipolar world. Section 5. The Dragon's Reach Belt and Road Initiative. The Iranian oil train route is not an isolated development, it's part of a much larger Chinese initiative, the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. Launched in 2013, the BRI is an ambitious infrastructure development project aimed at connecting China with Asia, Europe, and Africa. The BRI, often described as a modern-day Silk Road, encompasses a vast network of roads, railways, ports, and pipelines. It represents China's vision of a more interconnected world, with China at its center. The Iranian oil train route fits perfectly into this vision. It provides China with a land-based energy corridor, reducing its reliance on maritime routes and strengthening its connections with Central Asia and the Middle East. The BRI is not merely an economic project, it's a geopolitical strategy. It allows China to project its influence across the globe, forging new partnerships and challenging the existing world order. The Iranian oil train route, as part of the BRI, is a testament to China's growing global clout. Section 6. Shifting Sands, Energy Security in a New World. The emergence of the Iranian oil train route has profound implications for global energy security. It highlights the vulnerability of traditional energy supply chains and the growing importance of diversification. For decades, the world has relied on a few key choke points for oil transport, such as the Strait of Hormuz and the Malacca Strait. This reliance has made global energy markets susceptible to disruptions, whether due to geopolitical tensions, piracy, or natural disasters. The Iranian oil train route offers an alternative. It provides a land-based route that bypasses these choke points, enhancing energy security for both Iran and China. This development could encourage other countries to explore similar alternative routes, reducing their reliance on traditional maritime pathways. This shift towards diversification could reshape global energy maps. It could lead to the emergence of new energy corridors and partnerships, potentially diminishing the strategic importance of traditional choke points and altering the geopolitical calculus of energy security. Section 7. The Price of Change. Implications for global trade. The Iranian oil train route is not just about energy, it's a harbinger of broader changes in global trade patterns. It highlights the growing importance of land-based trade routes and the potential for regional integration. For much of the 20th century, global trade was dominated by maritime shipping. However, the rise of China and other emerging economies, coupled with geopolitical shifts and technological advancements, is changing this dynamic. Land-based trade routes like the Iranian oil train route offer several advantages. They can be faster and more cost-effective for certain goods and regions. They also reduce reliance on maritime routes, which are vulnerable to disruptions and subject to geopolitical tensions. The Iranian oil train route could be a catalyst for further development of land-based trade infrastructure in Central Asia and beyond. This could lead to greater regional integration, with countries strengthening economic ties and reducing their dependence on traditional global trade routes. Section 8, A New World Order, the Future of Global Power. The Iranian oil train route is a potent symbol of a shifting global order. It represents the decline of U.S. hegemony and the rise of new centers of power, particularly China. The ability of Iran and China to circumvent U.S. sanctions and establish a thriving trade route underscores the limitations of U.S. power in a multipolar world. It demonstrates that countries are increasingly willing to challenge the U.S.-led order and forge their own paths. This shift has profound implications for global governance. The existing international system, built on rules and institutions largely shaped by the United States, is being challenged. The Iranian oil train route is a reminder that in a multipolar world, power is more diffuse and unilateral actions are less effective. The future world order is likely to be more fragmented and complex. Regional powers will play a more prominent role, and new alliances and partnerships will emerge. The Iranian oil train route is a glimpse into this future, a world where power dynamics are in flux and the old rules no longer apply. Section 9. Why it matters, from pipelines to people. The Iranian oil train route might seem like a distant geopolitical development, irrelevant to the average person. However, its implications are far-reaching, affecting everything from the price of goods to global security. The shift in energy trade patterns could impact global oil prices, ultimately affecting consumers at the pump. The emergence of new trade routes could lead to changes in global supply chains, potentially affecting the cost and availability of goods. The geopolitical ramifications are even more significant. The decline of US hegemony and the rise of new powers like China could lead to greater global instability. The potential for conflict over resources and influence could increase, impacting global security. The Iranian oil train route is a reminder that we live in an interconnected world. Events in one part of the world can have ripple effects across the globe, impacting our daily lives in profound ways. Understanding these connections is crucial for navigating the complexities of the 21st century.